this series to explore time capsules, and we are bringing on knowledgeable people to tell us about their experiences creating them, what they put into them, why they created them, and hopefully to inspire some of you to create your own. So today we have someone named Cor de Jong from the Netherlands, and he's going to come on and tell us about his time capsule that he created. And he has been traveling through Europe, so we're very glad that he's finally on with us. And I will bring him right on right now. So thanks so much, guys. Let's tune in for a good episode. Hello, how are you?
Good evening. Hello. Thank you for your invitation to participate in your program.
Of course. Thank you for being here. And as we always do at the beginning of this podcast, is to have yourself introduce, where you're from, who you are for the audience who are meeting you for the first time.
Yes, okay, I will do. My name is Cor de Jong. I'm living in the Netherlands, in the northern part of the Netherlands, uh, also known as Holland, but Holland is a part of the Netherlands. Um, and I don't live in Amsterdam, probably the only city much people know from the Netherlands. I don't live there. I live in the north, in the province of Friesland, in the city of Leeuwarden, for 2 years now. And before that, I lived in a little village called Hempens-Teerns. Remember that because I'm going to ask questions about that. Hempens-Teerns. It's a twin village. I lived there for 2 years ago, and that is the place where we developed our time capsule.
Okay. And how do I pronounce that again?
Hempens-Teerns.
It's a difficult language, but we will work on it together. And for the audience members who are watching this with video, we are wearing the same outfit, so we'd love to see that. There is a connection. Well, I would love to get started and just hop right into it. Tell me a little bit about the time capsule that you cataloged and registered through the International Time Capsule Society.
Yes. We developed this time capsule because of our village council existed 100 years. You have to know that in 1917, in advance of the World War I, in several villages in the Netherlands, they founded village councils with one purpose, to make honest distribution of fuel to warm their houses, and an honest distribution of food, because it were times when people were poor. So that was the context, the time that many village councils were founded. Also in Hempens-Teerns in 1917, to be exactly on the March 14, 1970. So in 2017, our village council existed. They had a centennial. They existed 100 years. And there were much activities organized. And one of these activities was the developing of this time capsule.
Yeah, and so that is the story behind it. And why is it meaningful that you guys, created it?
Well, the times are changing fast,
Yes.
and we wanted to keep this moment for the people of our village, Hempens-Teerns, to make what I should say a commemoration of that year in which our village council existed 100 years. So that was the main reason to make this, to do this. And well, when you see the history about these time capsules, you can see they were buried for some 50 years, 100 years, but we did it for 25 years. So that means that it was buried on March 14, 2017, and it will be get out of the ground on March 14, 2042.
Yeah.
So that's I don't think I will see that. I don't think
We hope you do.
seeing I hope so, but seeing my age, I don't think I will be present at this event. But we chose for the time of 25 years because some of the younger people in our village will remember this event on which we buried this time capsule. We appointed 3 of the young people uh, of this village to be present to assist by opening then again this time capsule. That's one of the things we did, this appointing of 3 young people. One of the things we did to remember that we have a time capsule,
Yeah.
and that is buried in the ground nearby Hempens-Teerns, because I saw that some yeah lots of time capsules were buried but never found back again, and
Yeah.
that's what.
That's a huge problem. Yeah, for sure. And you have to take caution. So it's good that you had people that are younger that will be able to open it for you, right?
Yes, that was only one of the things. We did 4 things to remember this. Only 25 years, but we had to remember this. We registered the time capsule with the. I didn't know that existed, but the International Time Capsule Society in part of the Oglethorpe University in Atlanta, Georgia. I knew there was a night train to Georgia, but I didn't know there was a Oglethorpe University and an International Time Capsule Society. So we made a registration there. That was the second thing. The third thing was that we, on the place where the time capsule was buried, we made a cotton steel remembrance plate.
Mm.
You got a photo from this. I don't know if you can show this photo, but on this plate you can see where the time capsule is buried. And in the fourth place, the chairman of the village council got an envelope with opening instructions, with digging up
Mhm.
and opening instructions, and he or she has to hand over this envelope with instructions every time when it comes when he steps down, and when he or she
Oh,
steps down, and there comes a new. So I think that those 4 measures will guarantee that we only after 25 years find the time capsule back. Yes.
yeah. Definitely. And I know that, because it's in the village, have you had any media interest taking note that you have this time capsule, maybe covering you in, with journalists and things like that?
Yes, we had attention from local papers, from our local um, television and radio station. So they came on the evening we buried the time capsule.
Oh, they
Um,
filmed it?
yes. There was a small item on the telly. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Awesome. And what did you guys choose to actually put into the time capsule? And why did you
Well,
choose these items?
yes. That's the one only thing we don't know,
What?
because we we ask the people of our village, which are 280 approximately, to make something for putting in the time capsule um, of their own choice. That could be a letter, it could be a photograph, it could be um, a USB stick. Is that the
Mm,
correct
yes.
thing? USB stick. Although we don't know, can you read USB sticks after 25 years? I don't know, but we let a choice to them to make something, to do it in a neutral package, and we put it in the time capsule. So what is in it, we will only see after 25 years.
So it'll be a
Um,
surprise.
Yes, I think so, and it's nice that people who put something in it um, and are uh, present at the moment the time capsule will be digged up. Maybe they are surprised about what they put in it 25 years ago. I don't know. I
Well,
myself put something in it, and I hope my former village people and children will be surprised about what I put in it. But I
so you're
don't.
keeping it a secret.
Yes, even now.
Okay. I was going to ask you about that, but it sounds like it was definitely a group effort. So the whole village got together and they put in things that were meaningful to them. So, how many people actually contributed to the time capsule?
I think 150. So
Okay.
it's a, you can see on the pictures I sent you. It's a very huge time capsule. It's it was made of uh, um, moment. It's a cylinder made of thick-walled plastic, normally used as a transport tube for natural gas. So it's very big. But it should be a big one because of the load of things we were hiding in it. Yes, it has a length of about 1.5 meter and a profile of about a meter, 80 centimeters. So well, it was a huge thing. We had to dig yes, a grave. How should I call it? in which
A
we
grave, yeah.
let it, in which we let it down. We had to do that with a crane because we couldn't.
Wow.
Yes, we couldn't um, handle it with ourselves. We had to use a crane.
Wow. And how deep in the ground was it?
Um, 1.5 meter.
1.5 meters.
Yes, yes.
So for my American listeners, that is almost 5 feet deep in the ground. Uh,
Okay.
okay, interesting. And I know that you did a lot of things to make sure that it wasn't forgotten about. People know about it. It was broadcasted on the news. Did you do anything else to ensure that it was not forgotten and that the descendants were able to find it? Because I know with time capsules it can get a bit tricky when you put them in the ground for so long because the water can move them and things like that.
Yes, I don't. I hope not that the water in the Netherlands will go up so quickly. But um, yes, even this day, I had contact with the chairman of the nowadays chairman of the village council, because I saw that at the website of the village council it was not mentioned. So I ask him to mention it on the website. But when you go through the village and you come on a road nearby the place where the time capsule is captured, you see. Oh yes, I have to tell that there are from the road to the place where the time capsule is buried, there are 100 cordon steel footsteps that lead from the road to the place where the time capsule is
Oh, okay.
buried. So that's an extra sign, and that's because 100 footsteps, of course, because of the
Oh,
centennial of the village council. But at that moment, in that year, Hempens-Teerns existed of exactly 100 houses.
wow. Interesting.
Yes, so
There's a lot of history to this one. And I like that you don't even know what's in it. So you let everyone just put whatever they thought was valuable in it. And when people were writing letters or, writing putting journal entries in it, did you guys give them any like prompts or any self-reflection questions, or was it more
it was
free?
totally free. People
Yeah.
could when they made a story, when they made a letter, they could describe how the situation was at that moment. But they could also give look in the future to well imagine what that should be. And well, yeah, you can see how fast history is developing. We're talking about 2017. Who on the world could imagine that we are in the situation now with COVID and well, uh, that kind of things.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a completely different world back then. And we had so many people creating pandemic time capsules. So, that is a whole nother sector of this industry. But I mean, do you think, time capsules are a good way of preserving history? Um, Clearly your villagers put in things that mattered to them up until that time. And yeah, how do you feel? Do you think this is a way to preserve history? Or you think it's more of just a fun activity to do?
Well, it's both. It's fun because when you are going to do this, that's a quite a lot of organization and communication with the people in your village. Um, but I think, well, yes, when you look over 25 years to the society nowadays, you will discover that it's developing very fast.
Mm.
And well, that's interesting to see it and to realize it. What's really happening?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I know that, we spoke before about how time capsules are frequently lost, but because of, the earth and putting them in there and storing them beneath the ground for so long, they can start to rot away. So have you done anything to ensure that yours will be, safe and secure from that inevitable aging?
Yes, as I told you, it was a thick-walled plastic cylinder, and what I wrote in the registration, it was professional sealed
Mm.
with special electric seal equipment. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's they ensured us it's waterproof and it's airtight.
Mm.
So normally spoken, there won't there won't be problems with the content of the time capsule.
Yeah.
But we will see.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you've done everything in your power to make sure it kind of gets there in 25 years. If you had to do anything differently, would you? Now, I don't ask this question a lot. This is the first time I'm asking it, but if you had to create it again, would you do anything differently?
No, to be honest, I don't think so. We had a lot of fun developing this. I even don't know where the idea came from. Suddenly there was an idea of a time capsule, and um, of course we looked a little bit around on internet. So how do you do this? But there was so much energy and ideas in our little village,
Yeah.
so uh, that caused a lot of fun and a lot of energy and a lot of creativity to do this. So yes, when I had to do it again, I don't think um, we should we should do things very different from then. No.
I love that. Good. Confidence. And what do you think the world will be like when the time capsule is opened in 2042? Because that's not too far away. You know, we're almost 20 years out.
Yes. Well, prediction is difficult, especially when it's regarding the future. Um, I don't know. I myself, I'm a little bit worrying about climate change, of course, about what will it be for my children and
Mm.
grandchildren, and for the other people, the younger people. Um, I'm worried about how people meet each other.
Yeah.
Yes,
With technology, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So there are some worries. I think the most worrying is climate
Yeah.
change, and you see now. I have been at some years. I've been a member of Extinction Rebellion. I think you maybe heard of them. Um, and
Tell us more about that for people who don't know what that is for our listeners.
Extinction Rebellion is a climate is a club of climate activists.
Mm.
Well, who are warning about um, the things are happening with climate, the climate change. And when we started, I remember that a lot of people think we were a little silly
Mm.
because, well, things are always coming good and climate will go good. But when you see nowadays the signals of what
Yeah.
is going to happen, what is happening, you know that we have to change things. We have to change our behavior. We have to change. We have to um, get out of our. I don't know the word.
Like out of our own
We have
way.
to. We have to use less oil, and
Yeah.
that that kind of
Like
stuff.
the natural resources.
Yes, of course. Okay.
Yeah. No,
Yes.
absolutely. And
So
yeah, no, go on.
now, as a answer to your question, what do you think about 25 years? Do we have the time? 25 years. Do we have the time? It's going very, very, very fast.
Mm.
If you see what is happening nowadays with the icebergs on Groenland,
Mm.
um, you can see it going very fast. And we have to change the way we treat the world, we treat the planet on where we live.
Yeah. And what if you could give, the younger generation any words of advice on that topic? What would you say?
Cool.
I know there's a lot to say, but as someone who is, I hopefully have another 86, 70 years on this planet. I'd love
Yes,
to know your thoughts.
yes. What should I tell them? Do it better as we did.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
it better as our generation did.
Yeah. And when, people are going to open up that time capsule, who knows what the world's going to be like. But what do you think time capsule technology will be like? Because we know how fast technology is evolving.
Yes. Well, it's a time capsule is a little old fashioned. It's
Yeah,
a
it's a
is a
traditional.
physic thing, and you fill it, and you close it, and you bury it, and that's the nice thing of it.
Mm,
I couldn't imagine that you could. Well, maybe it can, but I can't imagine that you can make a digital time capsule in which you bury. I don't know, in the internet.
well, I guess you'd bury it in the cloud, right?
Yeah, maybe, and then you can find it. You can't find it anymore.
Yeah,
Or maybe you can put it in such a rocket who is going to explore new planets or new, I don't know, time
yeah.
capsule on Mars.
Time capsule.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see video being the future. So just like you said, some of the people in your village, they put USBs in the time capsule, right?
I think so. I don't know because, well, I don't know.
We see
But
a lot of people putting USBs in
okay,
time capsules, so I wouldn't be surprised at all. But you said it yourself. You know what? Will we be able to play USBs in 25 years? Who knows? The technology might become obsolete, which is a huge issue that we have. But how
yeah,
cool would it be to have a video of someone talking about their life and how they see the world kind of unfolding? Even someone like you talking about climate change and you're warning the younger generation, but also the words of advice that you could give. I think opening up a time capsule and seeing videos of people telling you what they think would be pretty phenomenal.
oh yeah,
I do think we have the technology for that. But yeah, time capsules have been very traditional, and there's like these new innovative take on them. And I think that we're living through very pivotal times in history. So these are good things to create. And I know a lot of listeners want to create them. So, is there any advice you would give to someone who wants to create a time capsule, not only for themselves on an individual level, but on a community level? Because it seems like you guys had a lot of fun creating one and coming together and collaborating.
that was the most important. Make it a community event. For example, um, we didn't have we didn't say to people what they have to put in the time capsule, but
Mm.
we had to tell them that they had maximum measures. You understand?
Oh,
Maximum.
oh, the
Uh,
measurements for the
yes,
what they
yes.
yeah.
And we made a little box. We made a little box with the maximum
Uh,
measures,
yeah.
and that we set a box on the bar on Friday nights in the village cafe in the village house, so people could see what was approximately the maximum measures of this time capsule. That's not the most important. The most important was that people uh, came to the bar to
Yeah.
see. Uh, well, that's one of the things you can make to arrange it community activity. We buried the time capsule. We invited people there. We made it a little party. People get a drink and something to eat. We made this cotton steel memory plate on it. Also, the memory plate um, we made a little party of um, um, to lay it down there
Yeah.
to so it was a real community activity, and that's what counts, and that's what people remember. Maybe they forget the time capsule, but they will remember the nice party we had around it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's cataloged as well in the Worldcap, which is the world's largest library catalog. So, I mean,
Yeah.
academically, people can use it; they can refer to it, which is pretty cool. And I wanted to actually show you that before we hop off today, because I'm not sure if you've ever seen it before. Have you been on the Worldcap?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, well, I have it all pulled up for you, so I'm going to show you. Now, I don't know how to pronounce it, but when you go and type it into the WorldCat, it shows up here. So we kind of type it in here, and you type in the name of it that you guys said. Do you want to pronounce it for the audience?
Okay, Dorpsbelang Hempens-Teerns, yeah.
Yep. Sir, and then it comes up right here. And this is your library. Now, this is going to be on the library for 300 years, I believe. So
Okay.
it's a long time, but 10 generations will be able to look at it. Now, because you've uploaded it, you can click View Online, and it brings you to the Not Forgotten library, which is obviously, we're having this podcast with Not Forgotten. And let's say if it loads quickly enough, but oops, it's going to load. And then you have this library record. Once it does load, I've had a bit of storms in New Jersey, but this is actually what it looks like. I've got it pulled up here as well. So you have the whole record, and then at the bottom of it, you have everything that you filled out. So the item description, the name of it, the purpose, the owner, all of these things. So there's the address where the time capsule has been deposited for. So there's really everything. If something goes wrong, which it won't, but it's right here, which is a very cool thing to know that it's here if you ever need to check it out. And hopefully, sometimes they just don't load. But while we're doing this, yeah, so I just wanted to show you that and give you a better idea. But that's what it looks like. Have you seen this one before?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Cool. Awesome.
Well, very nice. Very nice. Yes.
So I wanted to show you that. But yeah, I wanted to thank you so much for coming on here and doing this with me. I don't know if it was your first podcast or not, but you did a great job. So thank you so much for taking the time out. And if there's anything else you want to say before you go, the floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much. It was I was a little nervous because, English is not my native language. I hope I didn't make all too many mistakes, but it was nice to do, and it's nice to as a new remembrance to do the link of this podcast to my former village people, so they can see this.
Exactly.
And they will remember our our activities again. Yes.
Yeah. Well, thank you again. Really appreciate it. And I wish you guys the best. I'm excited to see how this unfolds, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, so another incredible guest from the Netherlands coming on board with me. Very great to have him. He was actually traveling for quite a while, so he made the time to be here months after I contacted him. So thank you so much. And as always, tune in this time next week, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for another episode. And we will talk to another time capsuler about their time capsule project. If you have any submissions, questions, or requests, give me an email at Elyse at not